Gotta refine. Our Vancouver Island road trip hits the beach and discovers some of the most rugged surfers in all of Canada.
Pretty gnarly, eh?
Then, a Hurricane Harvey refugee finds a forever home in the Northwest.
It was love at first sight.
Learn how you can take part in a super fun event that will help rescue even more animals in need. Plus, the phone kept ringing, and boy, is she glad she finally answered.
This person was very persistent, so I decided I better answer this call.
Find out why when opportunity knocks, sometimes you drive off in a brand new car. Seattle Refined starts now. Hey everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. You may think summer is the perfect season to get away, but for true Northwesterners, fall is the theme to get out and explore. This week, Refined is taking you on an awesome adventure thanks to our sponsors, Tourism Victoria. Yesterday, we showed you the first leg of the Pacific Marine Circle route as we traveled from Victoria to Souk. And today, the adventure gets even more gnarly. Our Refined road trip goes full throttle as we forge along Vancouver Island's spectacular Pacific Marine Circle route starting in Victoria, BC. The adventure begins when you book yourself a Victoria Sea and Sky package, a joint offer from Kenmore Air and Clipper Vacations. You can fly to Victoria on a float plane, then take the Clipper back, or the other way around. Today's leg of the journey, Souk to Port Renfrew, with a surprising stop along the way. The name of the area is Jordan River, but it's the view of surfers catching a wave on the Pacific Ocean that stopped us in our tracks. They braved the rugged coast and freezing water for a few minutes of exhilaration.
I try to describe it to people. It feels like you're flying. Like, you know those dreams you have when you're pretending that you can fly, and that's exactly what it feels like, but only it's reality.
Then it was on to Port Renfrew, a tiny town that's big on beauty. It began as a place for fishing and forestry, but now it's grown into a thriving ecotourism destination. It's also the starting grounds for the West Coast Trail. We couldn't wait to get into the woods for our own hike through Avatar Grove, an old-growth forest with a charming Canadian claim to fame.
We finally made it to the top of Avatar Grove, where we can find Canada's gnarliest tree. This beautiful specimen of a western red cedar, all twisted and gnarled and burrowed. Absolutely gorgeous, worth the hike. Pretty gnarly, eh?
All that hiking made us hungry. Next up, the Renfrew Pub for some grub.
Well, the restaurant's fantastic. Local food, fresh salmon, love it.
Beer, pool, and a menu chock full of fresh faves make this the perfect place to relax, refuel, and take in the view.
We're from the Great Lakes, and this is like the Great Lakes on steroids. Like, everything is just so much bigger and more vibrant. It's fantastic.
I love it. We've had pretty good life traveling, and this is pretty spectacular.
The pub is part of Wild Renfrew, an amazing area with so much to do and see.
What makes Wild Renfrew so special is that we have affordable accommodation from budget backpackers all the way to 5-star. We also have beautiful adventures in area, so from whale watching on an open-air Zodiac to stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, and even hiking tours of the big trees as well as the Botanical Beach area. It's the best place to come with your family, friends, or any adventure.
To learn more about the Pacific Marine Circle route, head to SeattleRefined.com. Nothing screams fall like pumpkins, and of course at Refined, bigger is always better. That's why we went to the Great Pumpkin Way Off. In all, more than 21 ginormous gourds hit the scale at Elysian Brewing in Georgetown over the weekend. The winner clocked in at nearly 1,800 pounds. That's a heck of a lot of pumpkin. If you want to know the secret to growing a giant pumpkin, we'll give you a hint. It has a lot to do with the compost. And check out the full gallery on our website. If you're a fan of pumpkin beer, hopefully you already have your ticket to the 13th annual Elysian Great Pumpkin Beer Festival at Seattle Center. That's where more than 80 pumpkin beers can be tasted this weekend. One of the highlights every year of the festival is when they hollow out a humongous pumpkin and turn it into a giant beer tap. At last check, there were still a few tickets left for Friday, but Saturday is sold out. From a beer fest to a bark fest, we know Seattleites absolutely love their dogs. And a fun upcoming event will put pups in the spotlight all for a very good cause. In fact, what our sponsor, Seattle Humane, has planned for Green Lake this weekend will have owners and man's best friend feeling the glow. It's doggone easy to see that 11-year-old Ben Dunkelberger and his dog Henry are besties.
My favorite thing is probably playing with him in the backyard. Good boy! Throwing the ball around, running around with him. Sometimes I even I run around, then he chases me, then I dodge him. And then it's really fun.
Even Mom Amy thinks Henry is pretty awesome.
He's just love wrapped up in fur, so we play all the time, we giggle, we know how to go with the flow with them.
It may surprise you to find out these forever friends have only been together for 2 months. In fact, Henry's been on quite a journey. His life changed forever when Hurricane Harvey hit Texas.
So Henry was in a shelter in Houston, and then the hurricane hit. They needed to clear out some space for family dogs to be able to go there. And so they brought Henry up here to Seattle.
The Seattle Humane Society took in more than 100 pets impacted by the hurricane. After seeing the animals arriving in Seattle via Facebook, Amy and Ben took a trip to the shelter.
And no dog. We're just going to look. We're not getting a dog. So, you know, like every smart mom, I went to a shelter to not get a dog. And lo and behold, once we saw Henry, I said, yes, we have to have him.
It was love at first sight. I was really happy.
Amy is thankful for the Seattle Humane Society's disaster fund.
Well, if it wasn't for the disaster relief fund, then we wouldn't have Henry. It was that fund that paid for him to take the trip from Houston up here to Seattle.
Okay, can you sit? Good boy. Oh, looking good, looking good.
As a matter of fact, four-legged friends and their people will soon be lighting up Green Lake at the Glow in the Park fundraiser.
Glow in the Park is October 7th. It's our annual walk fundraiser for Seattle Humane, and it's going to be such a fun event this year. It's in the evening, and we have lots of glow sticks for all of the pets to be glowing and looking their finest, dressed up in their Halloween costumes. Be a good little taco. We're gonna have lots of food trucks and a beer garden. It's going to be our most fun fundraiser yet.
The money they raise will help provide food, shelter, and medical care for pets like Henry.
So Glow in the Park this year will benefit our Lifesaver Rescue Fund and Disaster Relief Fund to help at-risk animals from shelters in our region and beyond.
Whether you walk on 2 legs or have 4 on the floor, all are welcome.
If you have a pet of your own, come on down and join the walk. Register online, there's still time. Get involved, start fundraising, and come join us on October 7th.
You could be helping to make a big difference in the life of a rescue animal and his future family.
Every day I say to my mom, I'm so glad we got him. He was born to be with us.
He does say that every day.
To learn more about Glow in the Park, Seattle Humane's Walk for the Animals, head to SeattleRefined.com. Seattle Refined is just getting started. A local artist hits it big by discovering the warm and fuzzy side of the force.
I like that one because it's kind of ambiguous. If it's a date, you don't know if it's like what they're doing.
But first, golf, games, amazing grub, and more. Refined visits a Northwest getaway that'll keep you busy and pampered. Welcome back to the show. I'm Gard Swanson. Rolling into fall is pretty exciting, but imagine doing it with a brand new car.
Congratulations.
Woohoo! I want a car! Yay!
Julie Freer is the winner of the One Tank Trip sweepstakes thanks to our sponsors, your Western Washington Honda dealers. She recently picked up a brand new Honda Accord Sport at the Honda of Kirkland, and she couldn't be happier.
I am extremely excited. I can't believe it. I got a phone call and said I won the lease on a 3-year lease on a new Honda, and I was just like, I didn't believe it. I absolutely didn't believe it. My old car is almost 18 years old, so it couldn't have come at a better time.
Julie says she already has plenty of one-tank road trips lined up, so congrats to her. Refined loved the trips we went on with Honda this summer as part of the One Tank Trip sweepstakes. We discovered some of the coolest places you can go in the state on just 1 tank of gas. Our first stop, the picturesque Sleeping Lady Resort in the fun Bavarian-themed town of Leavenworth. Then we got back into a Honda and visited Chelan's premier lakeside resort, Campbell's. But the fun didn't stop there. Next, it was off to the Gorge in George, where we sipped wine and explored the beauty of a resort called KB. And last but not least, it was off to the San Juans where we relaxed, wined and dined at the gorgeous Snug Harbor Resort. We can't wait to see where we go next year in our Honda. Not everyone can win a car, but if you're feeling lucky, we have a spot for you. We just got a sneak peek at the changes coming to our sponsors, Swinomish Casino and Lodge, and after one visit, we were ready to place our bets. Who knew? Just 90 minutes north of Seattle, you could find the perfect getaway.
The view is beautiful. It does make me feel like I've gone somewhere far.
Swinomish Casino and Lodge sits on Padilla Bay in Anacortes with breathtaking views of the San Juan Islands and Mount Baker. And there's no shortage of things to keep you busy.
Whale watching, golf, fishing, as well as everything that we offer here on property with 24-hour casino action. We have some of the finest dining in the Pacific Northwest.
He's not kidding. We stopped by 13 Moons for a bite of the chef's favorite dish, the 18-ounce grilled ribeye.
I'm a ribeye guy, but cooking it over that alderwood grill and the smell and the flavor and everything that comes from that is amazing.
Also on the menu, Dungeness crab mac and cheese and local hand-cut fresh fish that will have your mouth watering. And it's only about to get bigger and better. Swinomish is under major renovation for the first time in years, and some new restaurants are getting ready to open by the end of the year.
We have a new food court that'll have two options in it. One which will be a fat burger, and we also will have a quick service Asian option. We are going to open a brand new 24-hour cafe. It'll serve all of your traditional American classics.
We're really looking to upgrade the facility as a whole.
Guests will soon see all sorts of new gaming options.
We can't wait.
Yeah, we're going to get a new piano room.
And you'll also notice a change in the air, literally. Non-smoking gaming areas are on the way, along with a new air system that'll push fresh air through the casino and lodge every few minutes. If you're looking to switch things up and get outside, Swinomish has a golf course just down the road.
It's a golf course that is available for players of all skill levels, so they can all enjoy, be challenged, and have a great time.
And you can even do a little surfing while you're there.
Golf courses are, you stand on it, it's like you're standing on a great big surfboard, and the bag sits in front, and you just go around the golf course, and it's fun to negotiate the hills.
No matter your gaming preference, guests tell us the secret to success at Swinomish is definitely the staff.
Oh my God, they're very personable and they're very friendly. That's what really keeps us coming here is the staff.
Just come on up and visit us. We'd be happy to host you and let us show you what Swinomish hospitality is all about.
To learn more about Swinomish Casino, head to SeattleRefined.com. Still to come on Seattle Refined, buckle up for a culinary adventure.
I love it. I can try a bunch of different things, try a bunch of different flavors.
The James Beard Award-winning chef whose creations are taking diners to exotic new places, one small plate at a time. Welcome back to the show. I'm Gard Swanson. Well, classic rock fans in Seattle are about to have the time of their lives this weekend. Two iconic groups from the 70s, the Eagles and the Doobie Brothers, are coming together this Saturday for the Classic Northwest concert. They'll play at Safeco Field, and some tickets are still available. It's sure to bring back a lot of memories for fans. At the time when the Doobie Brothers and Eagles were cranking out big old hits in the 70s, a little movie called Star Wars was smashing the box office. To this day, the Star Wars franchise is still going strong, with another film set to be released in 2020. Most Star Wars fans take the movies very seriously, but Refine's John Prentice found one local fan who has a little fun with the Force.
So what do you think they're thinking in that photo?
I don't know. I was always wondering why they're fighting all the time, so they have to be doing something when they're not fighting and have to be taking a break in some way.
Like these fellows on a bicycle. It's kind of adorable, actually.
Just hanging out. I like that one because it's kind of ambiguous. Like you don't know if it's a date, you don't know if it's like what they're doing.
And what about this gentleman with the teacup?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how you drink it through that mask.
The Force. That's always the answer.
Kyle Hagee is a digital artist, creating lifelike images on his computer from scratch.
Did you go to school for this?
No. YouTube. YouTube was my school. I call it YouTube degree.
He says it took him 7 years of trial and error and late nights to get as skilled as he is now. But his big break came completely by surprise.
The first one I did was a complete accident. I was just kind of messing around one night and I wanted to make like a flowery field. So I did all big flowery field and I wanted to test the lighting. So I decided to import a C3PO that I did. I started posing like this because it was like 5 a.m. and I was like kind of loopy. And so I thought, oh, that looks pretty good. So I posted it online and the internet went crazy. And then I was like, oh, this could be a thing.
Now it is a thing. Kyle says sci-fi fans go nuts for Yoda giving the one-finger salute or Boba Fett brushing up on his knitting. He sells the images on his website and in person at the Fremont Market.
People, they say all kinds of things. My favorite is when they don't say anything and they just look. They like look at it and then they look away, then they look back.
Kyle says he creates everything you see in these pieces, from the grass on the ground to the gleam of Darth Vader's highly polished helmet.
It's completely CGI. So all the flowers, the mountains are all CGI, all the clothing. Yeah, it's really cool what computers can do now and the level of technology. I mean, it's crazy.
Kyle says 3D modeling can be a real challenge, but now his years of hard work are paying off and paying his rent.
So do you ever worry about George Lucas or Disney giving you a hard time over this?
I did for a little bit. I talked to a couple people at Disney and they all loved it. The lawyers I've talked to, they said this could be considered parody. So like how Weird Al does song parodies or SNL does Donald Trump skits. They said doing parody is considered fair use.
What does that mean? It means Kyle says he'll keep showing the world the lesser-known, more delicate side of some of sci-fi's greatest villains and heroes. John Prentice, Seattle Refined.
To check out Kyle's Star Wars art, head to SeattleRefined.com. We'll be right back, but first, a refined, shareable moment.
Korean meat and the Mexican burritos just kind of go together. So I always wanted to do it, and I had the opportunity to open Taqueria. Everyone's here just to have a good time, eat good food, I play good music, so I cover all the bases.
I did. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. Locally grown fruits and veggies are a common thing here in Seattle. We all know about that. But there are some chefs who take it to a whole new level. Washington Grown's Christy Goranson found one Capitol Hill spot where the fresh ingredients turn everyday dining into a one-of-a-kind experience.
Our first stop of the day is at Poppy, a unique restaurant in Seattle. Here, owner and chef Jerry Tronfeld combines his love of cooking with fresh herbs and spices with the East Indian style of serving a variety of small dishes on a platter known as a thali.
These small plates that you can try all at the same time. It's not enough to really fill you up, but enough so that you have a little bit of exciting change between each bite.
Before he started Poppy, Chef Jerry was the executive chef at the Herb Farm, and while he was there, he wrote 2 cookbooks and won a James Beard Award. I sat down with Chef Jerry and asked him where he gets his inspiration and drive from.
It was sort of my mission to teach people how to cook with fresh herbs because when I was growing up, everybody just used dried herbs.
What do people say when they taste your food with all these fresh flavors?
I think people have a lot of fun, eating here. It's not just the chicken entree or the piece of fish on a plate. When you order thali, you have many, many different flavor combinations. A lot of times people discover new flavors that they haven't tried before.
Local ingredients, does that inspire dishes that
Oh,
you
absolutely.
make?
We get our fresh sheets from local farmers. A couple times a week they'll send us lists of what they've got at their farms, and my chefs and I will sit down and we'll think about what's at its best right now, what we really want to cook with, and kind of like a puzzle, we'll kind of pair things together.
Make sure to tune in every Wednesday to see more reports from our partners at Washington Grown. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Gard Swanson. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Refined.